Welcome to the Model Car Podcast, a show about building scale model cars. This show is brought to you by the generous financial support of our Patreon backers. Our Patreon supporters get access to our behind-the-scenes Slack channel, Patreon extras, and even a chance to be on the show. If you can help support the show, please visit the Support Us page on our website, modelcar.show. If you'd like to talk more about model cars, please join our Facebook group or our private Slack channel. Welcome to episode 55. I'm Justin and joined by my good friend, John. John, how are you today?
I'm doing pretty good.
Great. We're going to talk this week about reflections from 2020 and predictions from 2021. My feeling, not much has changed from 2020 to 2021 yet, but I'm certainly hoping for the best. And it'll be an interesting discussion, kind of reflecting on our year a little bit and what we're hopefully looking forward to a little bit out of this show. But first, we've got a little bit to get into. John, what have you been working on, buying, all that good stuff this time? I saw lots of pictures.
You've seen lots of pictures, yeah, because lots of stuff was purchased back in November, December, and it all finally started coming in, and most of it's here. Not all of it's here, but most of it's here. There's another 2 or 3 things that are in transit, regardless. Been working on the 7Z28. In fact, I will go so far as to say the paint is finished on the Z28. It's just a matter of detail painting, assembly, the boring stuff.
I say I enjoy that part, but that's okay.
Also worked on in the past week because, well, why not? I dug out the 68 Plymouth Belvedere, a.k.a. the birth year build, and started working on that again. So it's already got 2 coats of white on it. Seems to be okay. I'm guessing from the look of it a few minutes ago, it'll need a 3rd coat. And seeing as misery loves company, I decided, heck, let's do another muscle car at the same time. And pulled out my 1970 Plymouth AAR Cuda from Revell, the latest version of it, from 2013, 2018?
Yeah, it's not a bad kit, actually.
No, it's not a bad kit. It's really very nice, and mine has already had 2 coats of paint on the body.
Oh, you're just a monster painting away.
Well, yeah, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. When it's working well, keep going with it.
The weather is conducive to painting over there, I guess.
The weather has been right yesterday and today. Not so much. Well, yesterday wasn't so bad. Today, there's no way in heck I'm going outside.
Do you know what it's doing outside here?
I'm going to guess it's raining.
No, it's snowing.
Oh my goodness. Well, welcome to the club. No, it's not snowing here. It is bright. There's blue skies. And with the wind, it's like minus 28 degrees Celsius. No. No, sir.
Wow. I don't even know what that is, but that is cold that would shut down the entire city that I live in.
That's cold enough that, I'll say I didn't see anybody walking by yesterday. I've seen 2 or 3 people walk by today, and all you're seeing basically is eyes. There's a scarf or something over the lower part of their face. The hat's pulled down right to their eyebrows. And it's like, yeah, okay, no, I'm not going out there today. No, sir.
I don't think I own any clothes like that.
If I didn't, I couldn't go out with it like this.
The best I've got is motorcycle gear.
Ew, man.
Because that gets cold some evenings, but yes. Nope.
I'm sure it does, but it's colder than that here.
Yeah. No, I don't have any thermal gear or anything like that. Minus 28 sounds like you need it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Minus 28. Yeah, that's where you put 2 layers of socks on. You put sweatpants underneath your pants and maybe a polar fleece underneath a jacket, depending on which weight of jacket you want to wear. And
then you look like the Michelin Man walking.
Well, yes, exactly. And I used to do this for fun with my dog. God.
Crazy.
I was crazy.
Hey, back onto models. I see you started on something from the dark side, from my area.
Yeah, from your area. Yeah, this morning I decided, seeing as I can't paint, and believe me, the 70 AAR Cuda needs paint at all the various parts. The engine's assembled, the rear axles assembled. It's time to paint it. Not today, not when it's that cold out. So I said, well, let's find something else to work on. And I'd already basically committed myself to building this one as my 3rd new build of the year. And it's my Lamborghini Miura.
Ooh,
Oh,
beautiful
yes.
kit. Beautiful. That's a Hasegawa one, right?
That's the Hasegawa one, yes, with a little extra something in the box that's not necessary to be there.
Yes. The new version, not the old version
Yes.
that I had.
Same plastic, same car. That's what matters.
Yes, with a couple of added highlights.
Yes. That's one way to put it.
Sorry, I couldn't resist.
No, it's all right.
How are you finding it so far? Because I mean, we've talked about that before. I know we've made at least one convert in the Facebook group.
Yes, and it's because of him that I promised him I'd do it for my third build of the year. So there it is.
Great. Well, and you're doing that in a gray, I believe. Is that correct?
Yes, Grigio Magnifico. Magnificent.
See, I'm not going to argue too much because it's a Lamborghini, but I still think it should be red, or depending on how you look at the film print, orange. We had some fun with that one.
I've heard that, but yeah, I'm not sorry. After seeing this gray one on the internet, I said, "Oh, that's for me."
Mm-hmm. And that's the Scale Finishes paint that you're using?
Scale Finishes, that's right. And before I forget, I knew there was another question I had. All courtesy of Legendary Motor Car, which is a restoration garage in the Halton, Ontario area. Been watching them, known of them for years, watched them on TV, watched them on YouTube. Yesterday, they tested a Lamborghini Countach LP400S that was owned by Jacques Villeneuve. Now, not Jacques Villeneuve, not the son of Gilles Villeneuve, but his brother.
Oh, interesting.
Jacques Villeneuve. Yes. And it's Acapulco Blue.
Ooh, that sounds nice.
Oh, boy. That car is just magnificent. So this brings the question forth. Who makes the best LP400S kit that I can get? or I should say the most accurate.
Just trying to think. I think your only choice you have... I'm just trying to think the S, because the LP400, the best kit out there is from Fujimi.
Okay.
One of the Enthusiast series kits.
In other words, there's a million pieces.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think that is really the only choice. There's a couple of them, but most of the Countach kits tend to be the later versions. That I'm thinking for an S. I would probably start with looking at the Fujimi Enthusiast kits, the EMs.
Okay. I'll have to see what I can find and see what's not too horribly expensive.
I don't have my light on, so I can't see behind my computer to see which one of the kits I have. But
okay,
that is the nicest looking LP400 that I have. I did build the Tamiya one, but it's kind of it's just missing the battery to make it a little motorized toy. It doesn't look it.
No.
Yeah. No. I'm just trying to think if there's any recent ones. I think Aoshima may have one.
I know we talked about one, some say 2 or 3, 4 episodes ago, but I can't tell you which one it was offhand.
Yeah, I haven't bought any of the recent ones. As I say, the Fujimi one is just fantastic. It's absolutely mind-blowingly complex, but everything's so nicely done on it.
Okay. And the one part that gets me, I know it's going to be different from the kit, is this car had upgraded wheels and tires. They're it's an LP400, but it's got the fender flares.
Mm. So you might need to, I don't know if they make an S kit. I don't see an S kit, but can't really tell from here. I'll take a look after the show and let you know what I've got in the stash.
Yeah, and that'll of course, you see, if this happens, it'll be more Scale Finishes paint. And I took I had 4, 5, 6 bottles come in this week of Scale Finishes paint. So yeah, and other goodies that have come in. There's a Mac MR resin cab from Models by Dave.
Mm-hmm. That looks nice.
Well,
okay.
Yeah,
needs a little bit of cleanup.
It's not. Yeah, it'll need a little bit of cleanup. It's not horrible. That's just how Models by Dave is. And then there's some very, very, very nice goodies from Ranger Detail Technologies.
What were those?
You don't even know who Ranger Detail Technologies is.
I do not.
Ranger Detail Technologies is a aftermarket company by Tim Bongard, who used to write the Model Firehouse column in Scale Auto Enthusiast a very long time ago.
I know the name.
You know the name? Yeah, that's right. A year, 3 years ago, he came out with the trans kit to build Squad 51 from Emergency. Not ringing any bells?
I remember Emergency, yes, as a child when I had hair.
Okay. Then I guess I'll have to geek out and explain it all to you then, won't I?
Mm-hmm. That was the paramedic truck, right?
The paramedic truck, yes. Technically, I've always referred to it as as a rescue squad. No, it's not a rescue squad. It's a paramedic wagon as far as the LA County Fire Department is concerned. Proper term.
Yeah, I remember those fondly. I was living in LA at the time, so they were.
Yes, you would have seen.
Oh yeah,
you would have seen the squads then.
Yeah, they were much more common than a fire truck.
Yes, because nowadays they roll. Nowadays you send for a paramedic unit, you're getting an ambulance.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they do it down there. Up here, we don't have paramedic units here in Quebec, but that's another story for another time. Anyway, he's been offering upgrades for it, newer and more improved parts to go with it. And I said, well, yeah, sure. Why not? I'll get those. And I went to his website and oh my God, he's offering a trans kit to build the original Engine 51, which was an open cab Crown Fire Coach.
Ooh.
Oh, I said, yeah, okay. And the instructions for this one, believe it or not, I know I've told you elsewhere, but for our listeners, they come on a USB key.
Yes. I had to laugh at that because...
Yeah, I know you're having to laugh at it, but when I looked at the amount of pages, because it's profusely illustrated, there's 312 pages of instructions.
Gosh, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's for sure. I figure of his pages, it would be roughly 2 per sheet of paper, so you're still looking at 150 pages of
printed material.
Scratch building, kit bashing, and printing on how to do it all. Yeah.
Cool.
So,
yeah, I would just have to figure out a way to use an old school USB key or USB dongle. The new Macs have changed everything, and I don't have anything that fits anymore.
Oh dear. Well, the advantage is that it does say in the printed sheets that come with it, and there's only a few. If you can't use the USB key, let them know. They'll make something work for you.
I'm surprised they don't just put it up on the internet.
Well,
put it up on the website, let somebody download it.
Yeah, that's possible.
Much cheaper than sending out into a USB thing every time.
Yeah, that's. I'll have to point that out to him. Also, for fun part is he's going to be having come the second Engine 51 because fire apparatus gets replaced after so many years of service. The second Engine 51 is the one that's perhaps more familiar to the viewers, and it was a Ward LaFrance P80. That's my Engine 51, and well, if he's going to do a trans kit for that, there's more of my money.
So, how much are these trans kit expensive or reasonably priced for what you're getting?
Reasonably priced for what you're getting, because in the end, the fit and finish of it is completely dependent on you. It's basically it's a kit that will teach you how to scratch build, how to build the pieces, how to build the parts, and turn them into what you want in the end. So, if it doesn't go together straight and square, who made the mistake? You, not somebody else.
I'm just down the really exciting rabbit hole of surfing websites while talking on a podcast. $104.95. It's on sale at the moment for the LA County Paramedic Wagon Trans Kit version 2.1.
I didn't pay that much for it. I got one of the original issues of it. It was a lot less.
So, by probably $150 Canadian by the time I get it here. Plus, I need
something like that.
Plus the Dodge.
Plus, you need the Dodge pickup. You need the Dodge pickup, and you probably still need the paint too.
Yeah, but as I say, I was in LA when these things were being used in the early '80s, and that's got some cool memories. John, you may have just cost me some money.
Oh dear.
If you want to help Justin buy one of these, go to our website, modelcar.shows/supporters. Send us some money and help me afford one of these really cool things.
Yeah, they're really cool. It's not it's not going to be a 5 day process either. It's going to
So
be a
that's
lot
not
of
your
work.
24-hour build choice for next weekend.
No, good gosh, no.
Oh, that's cool though.
No,
I did
no.
not know those. We'll put a link to Ranger Detail Technologies into the show notes if you want to go and take a look at that.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard you got some Revell paint to try.
Yeah, I got some Revell paint. I was ordering something from a Canadian address, and I noticed that they had the Revell paints, and I was like, oh.
Oh. So how much was the Revell paint, John, compared to the Tamiya?
You're asking me questions I didn't know I was going to have to study for. I didn't really bother with the price. I was just like, they got it. I'm game to try it. I know that even though I haven't got the spray paint yet, the spray paint is priced the same price as the Tamiya. So if we assume it's going to be the same quality, cool. But I haven't got that yet. So
same price as Tamiya is actually good because they're based on their list prices when they were releasing it. I expected it to sort of be $4 or $5 more on the shelf, which I thought would kill it.
Same price.
If they can do it for the same price, then I think it stands a chance.
Yeah, what I did get for the paint though is semi-gloss black acrylic, and I hate to say it, but I think I'll be buying this versus my Tamiya semi-gloss black acrylic.
How did you test it? What did you do?
I just gave the bottle a shake, took the lid off, got the paintbrush, put a few quick strokes onto a white styrene spoon and let it dry. It's like, oh my God, this is much more semi-gloss than the gloss that the Tamiya semi-gloss is.
Have you tried spraying it yet?
No, I have not tried spraying it. And well, hey, give me time.
Well,
I got the paint on Thursday. I only thought to try brushing it yesterday. Now it's too darn cold for me to want to open a window. So
you don't need to open a window for an acrylic. Test shot like that, you'll be fine. What's the worst case scenario? You and the cat have black lungs?
Well, there's an idea. Cat may have a black heart, so
that's good though. It's good to hear. How big are the puddles compared to a Tamiya one with this weird 2-part slidey design that they have?
Yeah, I'm not nuts about the top, but that is what it is. It's a huge opening when you open it. So if you're used to sort of like threading the needle on a Tamiya bottle, no, you won't have that problem. I think offhand it's bigger. Again, I didn't compare. Although now you're making me wonder. Now I'm going to have to go look up the website and see what they say the paint retails for.
I know. You could tell we do so much homework on the show, don't we?
Well, I didn't think I was going to get asked this question.
I know. That was kind of like me in the Lamborghini question. I'm off the top. We're just rolling with it.
We're just rolling with it. It's acrylic. It's Revell. It's $5 for 18 milliliters.
So that I think is a little more expensive than the Tamiya.
Okay, and we'll just seeing as we're here at the same place.
See how much the Tamiya is there.
Yeah, it's $4.49 for 23 milliliters. So yeah, it is a little bit more expensive.
See, I do numbers.
Yep, you do numbers. There you go.
I did numbers all those years of university, and I do numbers. That's cool. I'd be interested to see what it sprays like when you get there, because I can't say I do much painting with a brush for those kind of things. Everything is really shot with an airbrush for the semi-gloss for me.
Now it's more for detailing. I mean, if I'm going to paint an engine, it gets airbrushed. If I'm going to paint suspension parts, it's going to get airbrushed. It's just, detail afterward, go back. Okay, now we need to use a brush. It'll last me a long time. Fine.
Just out of curiosity, what do you use for thinning? Like when you do a Tamiya thin?
If I'm going to thin Tamiya acrylic to airbrush?
Yeah.
Lacquer thinner.
Okay, so you don't use a Tamiya thinner?
Nope.
I stay with the Tamiya stuff because I don't like mixing it. I was just wondering how that would work with the Revell stuff. But I guess if you're going to use lacquer thinner, it'll be a little different.
It'll thin it.
It won't make a difference.
Nope.
All right, so it gets the provisional thumbs up from John.
Yes, very much.
Very good, very good. You're the first person I've actually heard give a good review on it. So thank you very much.
Really? Nobody else has said anything good? I thought Bob Downey said it was good in his reviews in the magazine.
I haven't read the magazine.
Oh, that's right. You don't have the magazine. Well, I won't go into my issues with the magazine at the moment either.
I gave up on the magazine a while ago.
I haven't given up on them, but they seem to have given up on me. So,
All right. I actually hit a local hobby shop yesterday.
Oh my God.
First time probably since October.
First time this year. You got me beat.
No Revell paint.
Darn.
And there wasn't too much that excited me. I did find, though, the Hasegawa BMW 2002 TII. We talked about those one episode.
Mm-hmm.
We went down that BMW 2002 rabbit hole last year. And it was affordably priced. It was $49.99 Canadian, which is much cheaper than trying to eBay one and bring shipping in. So I was really excited. It's just a stock build, but I pulled it out and took a look at it. I bought it's an orange one on the box, and I bought some Tamiya orange paint. And I have a horrible feeling that this is a contender for my 24-hour build.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
And here I was all hyped up that I was going to get to see you build a Mustang.
Oh, really? Okay. I've got three choices. We'll talk about that. I want to talk about the 24-hour build at the end of the show.
Okay.
But, I keep waffling on what I want to build. Also, the McLarens, the Sennas.
The Sennas.
They will be in next week, and I've asked the local hobby shop to pull on one side for me. So next weekend is a 24-hour, so I won't be getting it there, but probably 2 weeks from now, I will hopefully have that in my hand and could give some thoughts on it for those listeners that might be interested in it.
Sounds good.
Cool. So what came out, John?
What has come out? Well, according to what I got in the email yesterday, the Revell Germany Jaguar E-Type Coupe is out or soon to be out. Wow. However, yes, we have issues. And you can see it on the box art even. If you go click on the link that I've included, you can see it on the box art. Between the artist rendering of the car and the picture of the model, you can see the issue.
Oh, this is the coupe with the...
Yes.
Alex Thomas got a couple of these, I believe.
Yes, he did.
They're already out somewhere in the world.
Yeah, just not here quite yet, but that's okay. I'm likely still in for one, but I will wait because the email promised that the Revell USA box of it will be out shortly and will be about $10 or so less expensive.
And probably packed into a small box and ruined.
Possibly. Don't know. It's a good question.
Land Rover.
Yes, I know you had issues with Land Rover.
Yes. I got the wrong box for that.
Okay.
I'm going to give that one a miss until I see some build-ups of it and I can really judge for myself what that looks like.
Yeah, well, maybe we can convince Alex into taking a picture of one of his bodies.
I think you got to build it and foil it and everything to really see, because I've seen different pictures and some look fine and other ones look less than fine. So hopefully it's not as bad as we're worried about. But I'm not sure I'm going to gamble $50-$60 on that just to figure out I was right.
Just to figure out you're right before you spent money. Yeah, okay. So shall we move along?
Yeah, tell me about the Transstar.
Oh, yes, round two this is not a deal breaker, but it was a real bomb when round two dropped it, or well, not even round two that dropped it, but round two has cloned the International Transstar 4070A cab over and improved the kit. It will be coming out sometime shortly. That's all I can say. Hopefully between now and April.
This was in round two's Q1 2021 announcements.
Yeah.
So
and
this is sort of the list from there. And I saw this, was it Evan Hermel?
No, it was Tim Ailborn.
Tim Alborn that posted it up that he'd had
He'd been
a version of it.
working with them. He'd been working with them to make it happen. So
I think it was his original kit that they 3D scanned to redevelop the new tooling and improve it.
Because they said it's been known for years that all three of them, the 4070A, the 4070B, and the TranStar Eagle 2 were never going to be coming back. The tools were destroyed, gone, whatever. They never quite said exactly what had happened to the tools, but they weren't ever coming back. Well, apparently they're coming back, or at least a model.
New tools are coming, which is even better.
Yes. Well, it's not new, but it's improved.
Well, yes. Improved is good.
Improved is good. That means the wheels and tires actually fit this time. I know that one thing that struck me that Tim mentioned that the entry ladder on one side or the other, I think it was the passenger side, has been relocated so it doesn't interfere with the steering anymore, which is always handy.
You don't need to steer these things. They drive on their own by braille.
Yeah, sure.
All right. What else is coming up in Q1?
There's the GMC Astro with reefer trailers being reissued with Miller Beer markings. The International Scout 2, two versions of it are supposed to be coming out shortly. The Great Dane reefer trailer is being reissued with Coors decals. There's going to be a Hot Wheels Ford Monster truck. Your guess is as good as mine as to what that means. I'm guessing an F-150, probably something a lot like Bigfoot.
Yeah, one of those miscellaneous tools that just gets a new decal sheet every time.
Yeah, just about. The Stingery Vet custom dragster is being reissued.
Not too much. I don't know these too much.
It's not something that really catches my eye. Now there's one that's either being listed as a 82 Dodge custom van or the Turtle Wax 82 Dodge custom van as being reissued. I'm guessing that's new decals because I don't ever recall seeing Turtle Wax sponsors on anything in the model world before.
No, I wonder if they're coming up with their own modeling products or hair care products for people like me.
Okay. I'm not going there, but jeez. Oh, boy. Oh, geez. You had to say that.
You know, you got to polish and shine a little bit, didn't you?
Armor all, perhaps?
Yeah, it's sorry, it's snowing outside. I wear a toque.
Yes.
There's a Canadian word that people.
That's a good Canadian word. The American's going to be like, no, it's a knitted cap. No, it's a toque.
Well, that's why I had to get it in there.
That's right. Also being reissued, hey, we're doing the AMT is doing the 70 Ford Galaxy again, but as a taxi this time.
That sounds interesting.
Which I hope means that there will be a nice new part in the box to do the taxis on top of the roof.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I wonder if it's going to be a yellow taxi, yellow cab.
No idea. I would assume so, but it's not a checker, but hey. Also for Q1 is the 1929 Ford Woody pickup from AMT, the Alexander Brothers Drag Time Diora, and that should be about that from round two. We've heard nothing more from Revell as to except what we talked about a couple of shows ago, but that's it for now.
Round two, we don't have a lot of links for these, so just to warn everybody.
Not at the moment, no. That's it. If you're going to go thinking, oh, I can go check this out. Now, this is so new, there's no pictures. If you want to find out about the International TranStar, you can go try looking on Facebook at the Model Truck Discussion Group and look for Tim Elborn. It's the best I can do for you.
That doesn't help.
No.
Directing people to Facebook? Oh, man, you're evil.
It's better than nothing. I know there's going to be somebody out there. Oh, I got to see this. I got to see this. It's the best I can do for you.
Spotlight Hobbies, he did post up there too.
He did?
Yep.
I must have missed that.
That's where I saw it. That's why I couldn't remember who it was. That's where I saw it. So it's a little less intrusive than Facebook.
Yeah, somewhat.
Hey, we had covered a lot of Japanese releases. And I was on my favorite site that I love to hate some days. And no, I wasn't looking in their adult section, but I was on Hobby Link Japan and came across some new a new series of Hasegawa kits, the CH series that are coming in March this year. And I hadn't heard of them before. They're doing they're doing 6 kits, but 3 of them are model cars. The first one is the Toyota 2000 GT hardtop, the Mazda Cosmo, and the 1989 Celsonic Nissan, which is the racing car. But these are classified as CH series is their super detailed kits. And I hadn't heard of these, but boy, am I excited with these. These almost remind me, they kind of sound like a little bit of the Gunsy high tech without all the metal parts.
Well, except there is metal parts.
But it does have metal parts and resin parts and photo etch parts all in the box. So looking at the 2000 GT, it says this kit from Hasegawa allows you to build a replica of the 2000 GT with an incredible level of detail. Metal, resin, photo etch parts help precisely reproduce the engine, and a 3-dimensional sticker for the back of the hood is included. Vinyl tube for the radiator hose is also provided. Order yours now. So this sounds like a cross between sort of a Gunsy high tech and perhaps a Fujimi enthusiast. But with some extra sort of parts in there. I'm pretty excited by those, actually. I don't know. Have you ever heard of these?
No, this is all brand new to me. And looking at the subject matter, well, I don't need another Skyline.
Well, there's a Skyline. There's the Cosmo. It's the...
No, the Celsonic car is what I'm talking about. I'm assuming. It's not a Skyline. Darn, I thought it was.
No, it's one of those Le Mans style ones.
The one I hadn't looked at yet.
Yes. No, sorry.
The R89C. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm looking at these very seriously at the 2000 GT and the Mazda Cosmos. Both kits I don't actually own. And I keep looking at them, and I think I've said it before that I keep looking at them and then waiting for the right price. But these two might be flying over the sea to me when they come out in March.
Yeah, I do have to admit, I mean, I'm not much into the Japanese cars, but I do know that the 2000 GT is considered to be one of the few collectible Japanese cars in the full-size world, so that's interesting.
I also saw, many, many years ago, when I was last at a model show, I saw somebody build up a white Mazda Cosmo, and, you look at it, it's kind of got that 60s view of the futuristic car. All you need is for it to fly in space and have George Jetson sticking out of it.
Have the wheels retract up into the body shell, and
yeah, exactly. But it actually on the table, it really is a nice looking kit. It's one of those that I'd love to have in my collection. Built in the same way, even though it's it's sort of not the best looking kit. It's not the most collectible, but it's a really neat looking kit when it's built up. So this could cost me 2 out of 3 of those anyway. I think they're definitely going to be on my list of things to buy this year.
Damn, I'm just a little leery of the price at almost $100 Canadian for a car kit, but it may well be worth it.
That's not bad, really.
No, when you stop and consider, okay, there's photo etch, there's resin, and various other goodies in there.
I'm going to bet you that when the McLaren Senna hits, I don't get any change from $100 bill.
Yeah, I won't know. I'm not taking that bet.
I'm going to guess the price point for that will be $89.99 Canadian. Now, granted, my hobby shop is not the cheapest around, but I look at this and I say, for what it is, it's comparable. I'm sure this is a Hobby Link Japan price, so it's probably $1.25 to get it here, maybe $1.30, something like that. So I'm not even sure I'll see these without ordering them in, because as you said, not a lot of people want to drop over $100 on a plastic model car. Resin, no problem, but plastic
no problem,
stuff.
But plastic people sort of,
Yep.
Yeah.
And white metal stuff, I kind of have sometimes issues with it. They're not always as, how do you say it?
Finely molded?
Yeah, that's
high
a good way to
quality.
say it. I was trying to think
Yeah.
of something that wasn't going to say anything that I would have to bleep out. But yes, finely molded is a good word.
All right. Interesting. That's for sure.
But been, coming from Hasegawa, and given that you're building a Hasegawa at the moment, I'm pretty excited about the Hasegawa that I just bought. I'm very tempted. Very, very tempted. All right, let's get into our topic this week because we've been talking for a little while.
Okay. Good.
Reflections and predictions.
Oh, dear.
I don't know about you. I started writing, the date as today is the 24th of March, 2020, with the little /11 at the top for the 11th version of March 2020, because time seems to have stopped still. And 2021 is not, the early part of it has had its drama. Let's go there.
Yes, drama. Good word.
It doesn't seem to be, I think you're in lockdown, Ontario's in lockdown. The world is, in Canada, our efforts to vaccinate people have stopped for a while because Pfizer's behind on production and nobody's getting any, I'm not sure what this year is going to bring, but I wanted to think about 2020 because it seemed that builders were affected in one of two ways. They were either very productive or they were far less productive than prior years.
Mm-hmm.
John, how did 2020 affect you in terms of building?
I got off to a strong start, sort of petered out toward the end of the year, but I would say I built at least as much last year as I did the year before, if not a bit more.
Now, was your work affected by the shutdowns and everything like that?
By shutdowns, no. By social distancing and other complications, yes.
So you slowed down in terms of, were you at home more, I guess is the question.
Yeah, but not by very much, because in the grand scheme of things, it isn't. Of course, you have to understand. I'm a sexton for a cemetery. If you need someone's going to be buried, you need to talk to me if you want to do that here. That's fine. That's cool. There were 3 or 4 families that had all, they're calling me before the season. Like at this time of the year, I think I already had 2 or 3 burials that were set up. That families called me after the shutdown started, saying, "Well, we can't do this. We can't travel, so we're going to cancel it for at least a year." And it's okay, but
okay, I got a question. Dumb question.
Sure.
What do you do with the people, the dead people, while you're canceling it for a year?
Well,
big freezer at home.
In the cases of these people that had contacted me, we were talking about an urn full of ashes. So,
oh yes, they do that.
That's not a
too.
problem. Yes,
Okay.
They do that.
I'm just thinking you've got like a whole bunch of igloos stacked up. 6 foot long igloos full of people.
Generally, funeral homes will keep it for you in their freezer, but there is a limit to their time that they can keep it, and it will cost you.
And I'm assuming there's a storage issue as well.
There's also a storage issue. If you get past a certain point, it's like, okay, somebody's got to go because we only have so much room. We can only do this. We can only do that. Yes, that's it. I mean, to illustrate things, the other cemetery in town, they stop burying generally in late December and begin burying again late April, early May, full caskets, that is. So
that's probably because you can't dig a hole at that point.
That's right. That's right. The ground is too hard right now. No, with the machinery they have, no, they can't dig a hole. Simple as that. The same with me. If somebody was calling me to say, okay, I want to, somebody from your area of the world that doesn't know how bad it gets over here. I want to bury, my relative next week in your cemetery. No, can't help you. Even if it is ashes, cannot help you. I can't dig that ground.
I was just thinking though, minus 28 degrees you were saying earlier. You can just leave them out back on the porch.
Except, of course, you can't do that.
It's okay. You can just feed the squirrels.
No. That's not happening. No. Nope. Let's not go there.
No, okay. Let's not go there.
It's not discreet.
Sorry. I just.
Yes, I know you jest, but it's a very serious subject with me because you sort of have to be serious with it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I could not do that.
Yeah.
I can't do serious very well.
No, I see that. That's all right. That's all right.
So you were affected a little bit staying home more, but not substantially then.
Not substantially, no.
Okay. So I and you didn't you know you're I'm assuming grommet doesn't change the equation too much for you. Cats tend to be a little less needy than perhaps dogs or children.
Well, yeah, that's true. Minus 28-degree weather. I'd have had to go out today with my dog, but I don't have the dog anymore. There's just that silly gray cat, and he doesn't want to go out.
Interesting. So I think if you're kind of lucky like that, you're in the ideal situation for being productive. I think the one thing we don't talk about too much is what the emotional side, the mental stress of everything.
Mental stress is not. That's why I'm building so dang much to keep my head off things.
Yeah. One of the things that I've seen a lot of builders really have the same thing. They've got extra time, and that's something that they've just been killing it on productivity. I'm actually along the opposite side because, I'm working from home. My commute now, like my de-stress, how normally you have a commute to work. Well, maybe you don't have, you live in a small
I
town.
have a commute. Yes, I have a 5-minute commute to work.
So if you've got 15, 20 minutes in your car, that's kind of de-stressing time after work coming home. Working from home, my de-stressing time is 12 steps from my library to my kitchen. It's certainly been a change for me. I kind of work from home. I go into the office a couple days a week, uh, but my workload has actually gone up this year.
Yep.
I'm in finance and accounting, and looking at trying to keep businesses on the right side of been alive, and dealing with all the challenges of how COVID affects businesses has certainly been an interesting one for me, and certainly up my workload. The one other thing I find that is more so than my work is that everybody else is home. And that more than anything else changes the equation of, uh, you know, getting time to myself, is because now the family's home. So we're doing things like playing games at night with my wife, and spending time with my daughter, because it's a huge different shift. So I'm quite. I haven't spent as much time at my workbench, and I was kind of thinking about this the other day, looking for, hey, what am I going to do in 2021, and how am I going to approach this? Because my building, honestly, wasn't great. I think it was one of my least productive years in a number of years last year. And in theory, been home more, I should have been able to get more done. But I have the princess that wants more attention. She guards me when I'm working, and she knows what time I finish work, and she gets up, and then I have an hour of playing with her. And it's all these weird little things that have just affected the time and capacity I have for building. So,
but at least in your case, the princess stays on the floor.
No, she doesn't.
Well, it's not like she's going to do like the cat does with me. I decide I'm going to go work on a model. If he decides, well, he needs help, I'm going to have him on my shoulders, peering down over my shoulders, watching what I'm doing.
So, Coco, how do I say this nicely for on air? So a little Lhasa Apso is her front paws. She likes to jump up when she wants attention, and she likes to climb up and be carried around. She doesn't do stairs. She doesn't climb onto the couch. She doesn't jump anywhere. So if she wants to go anywhere in our house that has stairs everywhere, even just a couple of stairs to and from the kitchen, she's kind of stuck in the kitchen. Dad. So she wants help. Dad. She comes and she jumps up.
Dad.
Yes, exactly. But she jumps up so that I can carry her wherever she wants, whether it's to go get a drink of water, to go get her some food, to put her on the couch, to take her off the couch, to take her to bed, to take her. Yeah. Anyway, I spend a lot of time. If somebody comes to the front door, we have one of the doorbells that notifies us if anybody's on the driveway. She gets excited and wants to climb up and go and investigate, sitting on top of me, basically.
Of course. All I have to do is try and keep the cat in when somebody comes to the door.
Oh no, Coco wants to be on my shoulder. She's got this weird little look. She sits there with her paw on my shoulder, just this real like, hey, look at me, I'm cool. But in order to do that, she jumps up and pushes on me.
I'm sorry.
And she's right at genital level when she jumps.
Oh,
so if you got a 16-pound dog jumping into your, you know what, it makes for an exciting day several times a day. And you said she doesn't come up.
No, she doesn't, but she does. I'm just thinking the look. I mean, I've gotten looks from trying to keep the cat in the door. I can imagine the looks you get with a dog sitting on your shoulder.
Oh, she's crazy. She's absolutely crazy.
Oh, dear.
I walk around like you know how moms always carry their babies and they kind of have that hip, you know, the mom hip that the baby sits on. I'm getting one of those.
Oh, gosh.
Anyway, so before we get into looking forward to 2021, because, you know, obviously there's a lot of things going on at home for everybody. What about buying with no shows? That obviously...
No. I went to exactly one show last year.
You got a show in before the shutdown.
Yes, March 7th. How do I know this? It was my birthday. So, that's when I came home with a pair of Land Rovers. So,
all right. One show.
But
for the rest of the year, how many shows did you miss?
1, 2, 3, 4.
And you would have, I'm assuming, purchased a chunk at each one of those shows.
Something, yes. How much? Good question. I didn't really plan on spending what I spent when I went on March 7th, but it's one of those things. Oh, 2 Land Rovers, the new one, the old one. Sure, why not?
Okay, let's be honest. When do we ever go to a model show with a budget and come out without going to the bank machine at least once?
I've never been to the bank machine.
Oh. Okay, well, that's my lack of self-control then.
I just go the day before, that's all. I mean, for example, if I'm going to the Modelrama in Kingston, Ontario, I don't know where the bank tellers are. I do know where my bank teller is at home, so...
Yeah, I always, give myself a budget and then somehow decide that it's not quite enough. But I'm easily swayed by new shiny things, as we know.
Yes. We're just like squirrels. Oh, look, it's shiny. I must have it.
Yeah, if it's shiny and has an Apple logo, then I'm all over it. And that seems to be more expensive than most of my kits. But anyway.
That's worse than most models, yes.
Yes. So how did you find your buying post your one show?
It probably went up a little bit, but I'm one of those people who it doesn't really matter, for example, how many did I build this year versus last year before that? It doesn't matter, so long as I'm enjoying myself, if I'm happy building 10 versus 20 or versus, 8.
One.
Hey, yeah, that's all right. I mean, I don't keep track of how many I build in a given year. How much did I spend this year versus last year? It's just me. So long as the electricity is still on, so long as everything else is working, everything works.
I guess for me, not having shows, and we've talked about how expensive things are around here for new kits, and bringing kits in is also fairly expensive. There's not a lot of, Vancouver's a relatively small city in the grand scheme of things. So there's not a big swap meet type mentality outside of the 2 shows that we have every year. Most people that are buying and selling are showing up at those shows. I found I was really down. I don't think I bought anything aftermarket at all last year. I bought a couple of kits, some paint, but really it was a quiet year for me for buying stuff. And that's not just because I was boycotting Mobius and Revell for a while.
Uh-huh.
So, we talk about a lot of the kits coming up, and there's a lot of things that get us excited. Part of that is, getting the availability of those. There's probably 4 or 5 model car stores within 45-minute drive of where I am. And I've only ever, since lockdown started, I've only been to one of them, which is sort of my regular one that I go to. But normally I'd go out once a month or so and take a ride around the other ones and, see what was new. And each store has a little different thing. I certainly find that my own habits, partially from staying home and the whole thing there, they've changed quite a bit. You're not so much. You're more of an online buyer, I guess.
Basically, because I have to be. I mean, the closest hobby shop to me is 45 minutes at highway speed.
That's okay. You have a Mustang. That doesn't take you that long.
Well, yeah, no, it still takes me the 45 minutes, but
yeah, only if you go the speed limit.
Yeah, but the SQ, anything above a certain speed guarantees you're going to get a signature you can add to your collection, as I put it. To get an SQ's agent signature on a piece of paper that you get to pay him princely for.
All right. Okay. But your mailbox changed because you have a mailbox in the
Yes,
state.
my mail. Oh, Jesus. Yes. Let's not get into that. That's part of my issues with magazines at the moment. But yes, we had to change the American Post Office box that I had just over the border from me. Couldn't get to it. Came up for renewal. I wondered what to do. Chris Martin said, well, I could help you on that. And I was like, okay, great for models. But ever since I transferred my magazine subscriptions, including going to the magazine printer, the magazine company's websites and changing it, not a magazine has come. And I've started an official, request for service, whatever you want to call it, with the American Post Office system, and they haven't got the foggiest why this isn't working.
That's terrible.
Yeah, that's horrible because I paid for money. I spent money and I've got nothing to show for it.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, and magazines are substantially more expensive to ship directly up to Canada.
Oh yeah, if that's the question is, do I want the print version and send it to Canada? No, not at what they charge. I mean, I'm seriously considering right now. Maybe I need to say to Comback, okay, look, send it to me online, do the digital magazine thing, and that's it. The other magazine, Hemmings, I tried asking them for help. They're like, well, nothing's come back, and seeing as we've mailed you the last issue of subscription you haven't renewed, you're screwed. Like,
wonderful.
Nice. Very wonderful. Nice idea. The other 2 hobby magazines haven't even replied. Well, they haven't replied, neither has Kalmbach, to when I sent to them, look, haven't got anything since this date. What's going on? Kalmbach has said nothing to me. And that was over a week ago.
Doesn't surprise me.
I'm sort of surprised, but I guess I shouldn't be.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, like I said, it works wonders for magazines, but not for magazines, but for any models, any this, paint, whatever, everybody else, no problem. Send it there, no problem. Magazines, on the other hand,
Is that how you get your scale finishes paint?
Yep. Yes.
I was wondering.
Used to be as simple as a half-hour drive from here to go get it. Now it's not quite so simple.
Well, that's why I haven't ever tried it, because it's just not available locally. So, and even the hobby shops in the U.S., the ones that I went to, have never had stocked it either. So it's always, I don't have a U.S. mailbox. I don't go.
No, you can't go there anyway right now. So
yeah, but going across the border here is painfully slow because there's so many people that do it when you're allowed to. And I don't really
just
want to
put it
fly.
in perspective. Tip before when Robert and I would go to model car shows from here, when we'd go down to Classic Plastic in October in northern Massachusetts, we would drive from here to the border, 30 miles, give or take, not see a single car on the road.
Here you get to the border and you have a 45 to an hour lineup
Oh gosh.
each way.
Oh,
So you can see why I've not bothered with a U.S. postal box.
That sucks.
There is one other place that you can get to, but again, it's still a 20, 25-minute lineup, and it's about another 20-minute drive to that border from me as well. So it makes it, it's sort of a 3-hour round trip just to go and pick something up from there. So it's a challenge.
Yeah, that's half a day.
Mm-hmm. I need a big yellow,
a big yellow taxi.
Yellow taxi as well. But anyway, I was going to ask you, have you done anything in the last 12 months, Zoom meetings, social media? How has the online community changed for you since going to basically shutdowns?
Well, believe it or not, I actually cut back on my online involvement. I used to post regularly on Spotlight Hobbies, and now it's 2-3 times a month.
Mm. Have you done any like Zoom meetings or anything like that? You weren't in any club, right?
No, I'm not in any clubs. The Classic Plastic, I'll use them as a great example. I'm part of their online presence on Facebook. I'm not a dues-paying member of the club, so I do not get invited to the Zoom meetings. But if you are meeting to some of the clubs, they do Zoom meetings.
Yeah.
The bad part for that, though, is that Classic Plastic tends to have its Zoom meetings on Sundays at about the same time as that we record. So there would be a complication there.
We could just invite them in. Actually, no, never mind. I was on the reason I brought up this question was I collect fountain pens, as I may have mentioned before. Mm-hmm. And there's a Vancouver pen club, and we've moved to meetings on Zoom. And Thursday night we had a Zoom meeting, and as an audio editor, I was absolutely horrified. It was like somebody with nails down a chalkboard for some of these people shouting into their computer microphones, and you know how I am with our sound job. You've been
that you wouldn't like that.
No, so I'm actually here on the Zoom meeting on my podcast microphone with my headphones so that I can sound at least reasonable. And
people are hollering at you and you're wanting to take the headphones off.
It just reminded me, how much I dislike those types of social interactions, even though they're out there. But it is a good way. There's a club out on the Vancouver Island that's quite engaged, and I know they've switched their monthly meetings to Zoom meetings. So I was just kind of curious, how is that working for you? If you were involved in any, Facebook I see is quite active. I'm not somebody, we know that I don't spend a lot of time there, and I know there's quite an active community, and I think even YouTube sort of comments and stuff like that sort of has a bit of community. It certainly gets a lot of passion for certain channels. Let's put it that way.
Oh boy.
Hey, I just said it's passion. That's all I'm going with.
Yeah, yep. Good idea.
We're not going any further on that.
Nope.
So I was kind of curious, has the online community, have you found Facebook to be a help for you with connecting with model car people? I know Slack has been a great thing for us.
Yeah, that's where most of my, I'm at Slack multiple times a day checking in. Some days like yesterday, hardly anybody did anything all day, but it is what it is.
Yeah. It's a small group, but I really value all you Slackers out there. If you're listening to this, thank you for being part of it, because it really has helped. It is our little model club in some ways. People we've got to know really well. I really enjoy the conversations there, which and the thing I like about it is I can check in and I can see everything that's been posted without having to wait for 5 different ads in between each one, and the timeline. I see something a week later. I went to our Facebook group the other day, and there were posts from like 5 days ago that I hadn't even seen because they didn't even show up. I mean, I'm not on Facebook much, but when I do check in, if it doesn't show up as here's something that has happened in your group, I may not see it, and that bothers me. 24-hour builds coming up.
Yeah.
I know that the visibility for some modelers using their algorithms, if you're not friends with everybody in the group, your visibility is very much reduced. Your interactions are very much reduced. So I have problems with Facebook. Instagram honestly is going the same way. I've seen way more ads and much less content that I want to see when I'm on there for it's like you're in a very small bubble. They're serving you too much. Their algorithms. I just want to see everything in a straight line.
Either you're serving you too much, or they're just not serving you what you're asking for or what you're expecting. I mean, I'm on other groups aside from our hobby groups on Facebook, and routinely I'll get a reply to something I posted or whatever. Click on it, and it just takes me to the top of the page of the the Facebook group, and go to look for it. Well, where the frick is my post? How am I supposed to reply to it or see what somebody said to it if you're not going to show it to me?
Yeah,
and that gets a little frustrating.
Yeah, so I think online communities still have some work to do. Hopefully, in the next 12 months, they'll get a little bit better. But where do you see the upcoming year? What
for anything we've already talked about, for jobs, for hobby shows, for
yeah, for all of that. I mean, honestly, looking at our Canadian immunization, I don't think we'll be immunized enough until at least October this year.
Yeah, and when you're saying in general, I've heard it's going to take at least 50% of both the Canadian and American populations for them to even consider reopening the border. So until 50% of us and 50% of the Americans are inoculated, you're not going to be going to any cross-border hobby shows.
Well, you can fly down there because that's fine.
Yeah, you can fly, but
especially if you're a Canadian politician,
you should not be able to fly right now in my book. But that's another story. Yeah, after saying that, I'm sort of hoping, praying that maybe shows will start to get back on track come next autumn. This autumn, I should say, autumn of 21. That's all I can say at this point. I was sort of hoping, praying maybe Classic Plastic, but those guys aren't even talking about doing a show this year, so I guess maybe not.
We have a local IPMS show up in October, but I'm not sure if things will be going well enough that they would be able to reserve and commit to that with enough time to organize it.
Yeah, there's that too.
Yeah, and I as I say, I don't think we'll know for a while. So I kind of look at this year for me as another year as last year. Groundhog Day. March. It's the 11th version of March 2020.
Yeah.
I was looking. I saw some news this week. Glastonbury Festival, which is a very large music festival in England, that is in late summer, or I think June, July, somewhere around there. Maybe not late summer, and that canceled it this week preemptively. I think concert season is going to be shot for another year. And I was looking at trying to think of, okay, well, what's that going to be? I don't think we'll get to do a lot of modeling. And that's
modeling. Yes, modeling shows. No,
modeling shows, modeling interactions. Yeah. Even my local hobby shop has a sign up. Finally, masks required. Of course, masks. Just remind everybody should go above the nose as well if you're going to.
Yes,
bother.
Please. The nose breathers. It takes less time to potty train a baby.
Yeah, but anyway, we won't go there. I have thoughts, but no, it's going to be another rough year for community. So, let us know if there's any online communities that work really well, because the more people that get involved in them, the better. I think we talked about it, the stress of being on your own and, not having those interactions and that camaraderie that does come along with a swap meet and even a show, depending on how
and even the clubs. Again, I said I'm not a dues paying member of Classic Plastic, but I'm involved in their online presence, and I'm seeing that from a lot of the guys there. They're they really want to do something. They want to have a club, an in-person club meeting. They want to do the shows, but realistically, you can't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a tough one.
And I get it, believe me.
So what about your own personal building quality, quantity? Do you see any changes from 2020 on that? You said you were pretty consistent last year to previous years, or at least at the start of the year.
Yep. I'm hoping for I guess the numbers will go down because I think after what I got in the mail last Thursday, all those Ranger Detail Technology stuff, I think we're going to be spending more time playing with plastic than just building plastic model cars.
Yeah, I guess I shouldn't, because it's not just a quantity thing, because we can get into
quality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of why I'd put in our show notes, quantity and quality, because it's hours at the bench. How many hours do you get at the bench? You figure that'll be somewhat similar this year for you?
Hours will be the same. Output will be lower, but hey, at least I'll be able to look at it and say, hey, look, I've got Squad 51 on my workbench. I've got Engine 51 on my workbench.
I still want that Squad 51.
Mm-hmm.
Not the Squad 51.
Squad 51, the emergency squad.
The paramedic wagon.
The paramedic wagon. Squad 51. It was always Squad 51 on the TV show.
Okay. That's been a while. My memory doesn't go back that far.
If I know you don't do YouTube. You don't do YouTube, but it's on YouTube. You can go check out episodes of it on YouTube.
Yes. We won't count on that one.
You're going to run right off and do that after the show, aren't you?
Yeah, that's about it. I'm really hoping to get my schedule to carve out some time just for myself. I kind of miss, with working so much, and when I'm not working, having everybody from family at home and the dog at home. I'm really hoping to get more time to spend building this year. We're going to talk next about the 24-hour build, which is coming up next weekend. I'm really hoping that will reset my excitement level. I had a couple of kits that went bad on me, the builds that just didn't go the way that I wanted. And that kind of kicked me, where it's not comfortable.
Kicked you where the dog gets you.
Pretty much, yes. And I'm really hoping to find balance. One thing that I think I can look at and say, nothing is going to change for me till fourth quarter this year. And I really think that with the world the way it is, that's probably not going to be till spring of 2022 that the model shows that I want to go to will even really consider opening up. The border will open up. That time where you can go out and feel comfortable having lunch and driving around the city to all the different hobby shops, those enjoyable times. I'm hoping they'll be back, at least fourth quarter, but by, another year of it. But with that in mind, I'm hoping that I can look at my schedule and say, okay, here's some time that I need to get for myself, and one of the ways to do that is for me sitting at the workbench, and balancing that with the other things that I do, the other projects that I have on the go. So it's an interesting time for everybody, and hopefully everybody's doing really well. John, I wanted to ask you one model related thing that you're looking forward to in 2021.
What, you mean like a new release or something?
Anything you want. What's something I want to think of something positive that we're actually looking forward to.
Well, I hope by the end of this year that I will have Squad 51 built and Engine 51 beside it. And well, I'm going to, yes, now I'm going to do it. Okay. I tend to say things that, I want to do this, I want to do that, and then not follow through. Well, I'm going to do something about that. Because late last year I found something I can use as a pattern to build something in 1/25th scale, or technically 1/24th scale. If we go back to our example of emergency, the TV show was filmed at LA County Fire Station 127.
Mm.
Would you believe there's an O scale, which is 1/48 scale, exactly half the size of 124, replica of station, well, they call it Station 12. Yeah, but it's Station 127.
So you're thinking pattern.
I've got the pattern. I bought that when I finally found it. It's been out for several years. Didn't have, or wasn't willing to spend the money on it when it was new. Found one secondhand for the same price as new. Said, okay, got it. I've got the sheet brick I need. So I'm taking the step.
Cool.
So Station 51, Engine 51, and Squad 51.
Oh, wow. That is
ambitious.
A very ambitious project, but I think it's a great project to have.
Something to look forward to, something to, the funny part is, I guess it's all going to be scratch built too, guys. Well, except of course for the cab of the Dodge and the actual fire truck body on the fire coach, but
that's a lot of work. But with that sort of end goal in mind, that's actually really good.
And then there's the question: what do I start first? The station, the squad, or the engine?
Well, the squad's really. Yeah, I still have the squad opened up on my screen. What does that tell you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, squad, because that's the first one I bought too.
I may have to wait a couple of months till I have some funds. I had an expensive January, but
Ranger Detail Technologies did the trans kit. I said, oh my God, had to have it, got it. Then the O-scale building came out and I said, oh, I should get this, but didn't, got it. Now Engine 51. Okay.
Cool. That's definitely a lot more positive thing than I was looking forward to. I'm just looking forward to making a ritual, if you like, of a couple of hours a week of bench time. Just figure out a time in my schedule and scheduling it in to build. And it doesn't matter quantity or quality. I'm just going to build whatever I feel like. And if it's not working for me, it'll go away and I'll find something else. But I want to get back to that sense of accomplishment for 2021. And I felt that was lacking in 2020.
Yeah, because you really didn't. I'm not saying you didn't do any models, but it wasn't any sort of set schedule. I mean, given my schedule in the winters, I can't work at a cemetery at this time of the year. There's all I can do is answer the phone call. So, and that's done at home. So that means, in theory, any day I want to, anytime I want to, I can go work at the workbench.
Well, you would think it would be like that for me too, because for the most part, I'm working from home. I'm home in the evenings,
but you're working for home, but you're working for somebody else.
Yeah, exactly. So it's
okay. I'm basically working for me at this point. There's nobody who oversees this part of the job. So,
lucky you.
No,
you can have my boss if you like.
No, I don't want your boss. I need a different job, but that's another story altogether.
It is. Yeah. Well, let's hope 2021 we're going to have some fun things. There are some really neat kits out there now that have got me excited. And I guess that's kind of where I want to go at the moment. 24-hour build, John. Are you going to go into it? It is next weekend coming up.
Yeah, I know it's next weekend. In general, no, but as I posted on Slack a few days ago, Thursday or Friday, what I had and what I was considering. You tell me. What I got. I also got some other smaller kits from Ranger Detail Technologies. They're scratch building skill builders, as Tim puts it. It's, in general, they're small. They are small. There's 3 of them I have. One of them, it's an accessory for the rescue squad. The second one is something you could find on a bigger truck. The third one isn't meant to go on a model vehicle. The fourth one I have coming. He was back ordered at the time, so we'll have it coming for me, which is cool. This one will actually have wheels and tires, but it will not be here in time for the 24-hour build. So we go back to the initial question. I have these 2 small kits, scratch building kits, that are meant to go on vehicles, but they don't have wheels and tires. So do they qualify for the model car build?
This is where I'm probably going to be different than everybody else.
You're going to say, okay.
I'm going to say it's about having fun more than anything else. It's put a little bit of a challenge to yourself, meet the challenge. And, if you do meet it, great. You're going to feel so good and so stoked about building.
Unlike last year.
Yeah. If you don't feel bad about it. It really is about fun. I don't want to say anything bad about the Facebook group, but there are rules, there are procedures, there are.
You can't paint it. You can't do this. You can't do that.
Yeah, there's a bunch of
Not everybody has a dehydrator. That's all I'm
yeah,
going to say.
yeah. It has become big enough that they've had to make their rules, and I think it changes having any set of rules and people that are sort of self-policing them. I'm not going to say this is the organizers because I don't know that it is the organizers, but they do have a certain way of doing things, and that's not always the most exciting for me. I just want to build, and I want to use this as a build to challenge myself. We talked. I think last time I may have said on the podcast that what I was going to do.
Yeah, you were mentioning a Mustang.
Yep, I had planned on doing the Mustang, and I had so. Here's how well I play with other people's rules. That somebody had left a comment because they're setting up, I guess, albums to collect everybody's pictures off Facebook and put them probably on a Focky somewhere. And they said, "Oh, tell us what you have." And my comment was, "Okay, I'm going to build this." And the comment I got back was, "Well, you have to send me a pic. You have to post a picture of the kit." That's like, okay, it's to me, it's Mustang GT box. I need to post a picture of the kit to be included in this. I get what they're trying to do, but that kind of like, really? That's a rule that you have to post a picture to actually be included in it was a little frustrating for me. And of course, since then, now that somebody said that, I got to post a picture, I start getting grumpy and I start looking for other things that I could build. So I'm not even sure that I'm going to build the Mustang anymore. It's still one of my considerations. I got 3 considerations. The BMW that I bought is just fantastic. There's a lot of fiddly parts with it though. The trim on it there's a lot of chrome trim, and the chrome trim
is separate pieces, right?
Separate pieces that you fit into the body. And that scares the bejesus out of me.
I think that's why mine is still sitting in the box in the stash.
The other thing, I don't know about yours, but they have, instead of chrome foil for the windows, they actually have decals for the chrome foil.
For the windows?
For the windows, they have like a silver painted decal, which is just the weirdest thing. And for the front and back window, and I really like this, but I have no idea how to do it because with it looks like silver paint rather than silver decal material rather than chrome.
It does not ring a bell, but
yeah, they actually have the black with the chrome. You know how around the front you'd actually have the black window sealant, the rubber with the chrome trim on it. They even have the decal with the black and the silver.
Oh wow, no, that does not ring a bell. I just remember being put off by that the chrome trim parts.
Anyway, that's part of why that's tempting. And then I was actually sitting the other day looking through my stash, and I found a kit that I bought a number of years ago, and as a vendor down in the States, and he gave me, it was still a very, very expensive kit, but he gave me a sweetheart deal on the one deal that I would actually build it, not just, either flip it or sit on it.
Or sit on it forever. Yeah.
It was a 1964 Triumph drag bike from Revell, still sealed.
Oh, geez.
It's mint. Well, it's a 57-year-old kit at this point, 56-year-old kit. So it's, the box is a little crushed here and there, and it's, it's not perfectly wide.
That cardboard's older than I am.
Yeah, exactly. And I was looking at that the other day, and I thought, that actually might be a fun one to switch my, the Tamiya one. I know what I'm going to get. I'll be able to finish it. It's a good car, the Tamiya Mustang. This one might be more of a challenge. So if I'm not sure which one of those 3 I'm going to build for the 24-hour. I'm very tempted for all of them. The one thing about, 1964 kits is I wonder what fit and finish issues I'm going to get into.
Yeah. I wonder how, I assume there's chrome on it.
There is chrome.
Like the wheels, like the exhaust.
Yeah, actually, I got the kit here.
Oh boy.
Uh,
I'm just sort of wondering, what sort of shape is it in after all this time?
actually, I just
57 years.
50. Yeah, I just actually opened it up, and surprisingly, everything's still bagged inside because it's a brand new kit.
And the
So
chrome is still good. The tires are still good.
chrome is still good. The tires are good. There's
Wow.
one tire mark on one of the front fenders that I found, but it's not bad at all. Like, it's very easy to
Wow. A
resolve.
little bit of putty, a little bit of sanding, a little bit of primer.
Exactly. Very, very simple to
Wow.
fix this one. So I'm and the more it sits there, the older it gets, and
The more you're saying, I get it.
I don't know, John. What do you think?
That's awful tempting. You have to open the box up on something like that and see that the tires are good, the chrome is good. There's clear. No, it's a drag. Yeah, there should be some clear for the windscreen, right?
There is no windscreen. It is a
There's no
drag
windscreen
bike.
at all. Okay, so basically the guy's flattening his chest on the fuel tank.
Yeah, basically, the fuel tank is a little. It's like a can of Coke in between the top rails.
Oh,
There's
so basically his hands are up above his shoulders.
Yeah. In terms of body work, the only thing that I would actually have to paint, and I shouldn't say the only thing I'd have to paint because I will have to do more work, but anything with any color, there is a rear fender, there is the frame, and everything else is pure bike because it's a drag bike, right? So everything, it's almost a naked bike.
Yeah, it's about as naked as you're going to get.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that is, and it's a 1/8 scale, so it's a fairly large sucker.
It's going to be like a foot long or something like that.
The tires on it. Sorry, step away from the mic.
No, he stepped away from Mike, and I'm hearing plastic being rattled. That's always good.
Makes very interesting podcasting. The front tire on it's probably 2.5 inches.
Oh, geez.
2 to 2.5 inches. So it's a fair size.
Oh yeah.
But
oh yeah.
I don't know. It's a debate. And I stopped looking at my kit after coming up with my kits with 3 choices that I want to build.
Got too tempting, did it?
I was just really glad that the McLaren Senna wasn't in this week. Just to add, though that I would never try that for a 24-hour build.
No, you couldn't. There's just too much to it. Even, yeah, no. The Mustang, maybe. The McLaren, no.
All right, so it'll be an interesting one. If you are interested in seeing what John and I do, join our Slack. If you're interested in joining our Slack, send us a message, modelcarpodcast@gmail.com. I'll send you a link. We have a contest builds channel, and everybody that's going to be participating will be posting up pictures. So, if you're bored at 4:00 in the morning and can't sleep, you'll be able to see what people are
early
working
next
on.
Sunday morning, that is.
Yes. It'll be a fun one. So I'm looking forward to participating in that. Hopefully, John, you decide to give something a shot. And, I like the idea of something, even if it doesn't have wheels and doesn't fit into the normal Facebook groups part, it's still there. We also have a link in the show notes to the Facebook group. If you want to go and do it officially with their rules of no touching anything before this time, you can. I think you're allowed to wash it, but and glue on 3 parts or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. You can, like if your body has a lower front valence and a front valence and a rear valence that need to be glued on, glue them on.
I don't do any cleaning. I usually do actually wash my kit beforehand, just because I like for my stuff to dry properly before I start messing with it.
Okay, you see. I cheat. I don't, when I'm doing general assembly, this, that, the other thing. No. When I get to painting, if I polish, I sand my bodies down before I do anything to it. I wash it, blow it dry with my compressor, do the paint, and continue to repeat after each stage in paint.
So
I am.
Yeah, I just wash. I'll do one wash with soap and water when everything's on the sprue.
No. Oh God, no. I'd lose something down the drain.
No, I have a separate little tub that I take downstairs that I fill up. It's got a selection of toothbrushes and nail brushes, and I have special soap. And
Special soap? They make soap for models?
no, but I use a hand soap that is one of the problems that you can get into that I found out the hard way.
Hand soaps tend to have fragrances and et cetera in them.
Yep, that's why that's why I have a special one that has none of that. But I used to use dish soap, and dish soap actually has silicone in it to help make the dishes shine. So you've got to be very careful about what soap you use. Anyway, so I use this. I have this whole setup. Then I take it. I've got my blue towels that I wipe everything down with and dry it, then let it air dry. And so I probably do that because I do let it dry for an hour or so beforehand. But that's the only thing I'll do. I don't cut anything off, even though that you're allowed to. And that is just my own personal challenge. This is how I want to build it. But everybody to their own. If you want to come up onto the Facebook group, they've got a set of rules. Up on Slack, it's a little more. Let's have fun and post pictures. And the nice thing is, when everybody logs on, they're going to be able to see what you're working on. It's not going to be hidden with an algorithm and only shown to your 5 friends that are also doing it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right. I think we killed that one, John.
Just remember, you're soaking in it.
Soaking in it?
Guess you don't remember that TV commercial from when I was young? Palmolive?
Nope, you lost me on that one.
Okay.
But I might have to check out the YouTube.
You'll have to go look out YouTube. Yep. Madge, you're soaking in it.
All right. That is the end of our show for today. I think next time we'll talk about how we actually did with our 24-hour builds, if we do them at all, and what we built and how the process went. Thank you for all of our supporters for this episode. Our Patreon producer levels for this episode, which we really, really thank. Chris Martin, Pat Redmond, Alex Thomas, Mickey Drace, Scale Finishes, Classic Truck Model Magazine, Ryan Voyer, and Rick Henderson. Couldn't do this without you guys. If you want to join our Facebook groups or our Slack community and be part of it, please go to our website, send me an email. I'll send you links to it. It should be up there. Anything you wanted to add for today, John?
No, don't think so.
All right. In that case, say goodbye.
Goodbye, John.